Hello, hello, hello. Welcome one, welcome all to the weekly strategically minded Handelabra stream hosted by yours truly, Dolphin. Handelabra believes in civil rights for everyone and in being as inclusive as possible, so any comments or activity actively working against that goal are not welcome and will not be tolerated. You can follow us at Handelabra Games on Twitch and Handelabra on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. You can follow me personally at Dolphin on Twitch and Dolphin21 on Twitter, and on YouTube, Dolphin. Sentinels, the Multiverse, One Deck Dungeon, Aeon's End, and Bot of the Ninth are available on digital, analog, cardboard, and ink. Wait. I tried to throw in another game in there. I'm forgetting how this goes. Oh shoot, let's start over again. Hi, I'm gonna start streaming on this channel. You know, my name's Lid. Sentinels of the Multiverse and One Deck Dungeon are available on Steam, iOS, and Android devices, as well as analog, cardboard, and ink and dice. And you can get the games and more info at handelabra.com. There we go. And ink, yes. You can get a tattoo of Sentinels of the Multiverse and play it wherever you want. That's exactly what that means. So the analog, cardboard, and ink comment references more the physical game than the digital game. The digital game, of course, if you purchase it, you support Handelabra, and Greater Than Games get some dividends. If you purchase the physical game, I don't know that Handelabra profits directly, but, you know, these are, well, One Deck Dungeon is made from Osmani Games. Sentinels of the Multiverse through Greater Than Games. Bottom of the Ninth, I think, is also Greater Than Games. And Aeon's End, I forget what company makes that one. But, you know, Handelabra works with all of these companies to deliver these games into a digital medium, making it easier to set up and play instead of having to physically set up the entire thing, which there's, of course, fun in that as well. Playing physically requires you to track more on your own as opposed to just mindlessly clicking on things on the screen and following whatever the prompts tell you to do. And also some, you know, at least in Sentinels, but also in One Deck Dungeon as well, the tracking that you would have to do manually, the game takes care of. So when you do it manually, you get a better feeling of like all the mechanics that happen. Whereas, as you see when I play, you know, these games, I tend to forget sometimes everything that happens, like Chiquito stealing the first discarded card. If I were to play physically, I would probably have to, you know, make a mental note every single time I discard, and then 5 turns later go, oh no, I was supposed to have that card underneath Chiquito. Ah. Anyway, we're here with One Deck Dungeon. I think actually I should double check. I don't know that the game was updated. The title was, weirdly, I'm guessing whoever did the stream last updated it. But Bellasaurus the Year is here, and that is all that truly matters. In a One Deck Dungeon stream, all we need is Bella, Belly, Bell. Okay, my computer's been awfully slow today, so it's taking a while for it to even decide to open up Chrome. But let's take a look and see what this title does say. It should say Dolphin side with Lou. Dolphin category, Sentinels of the Multiverse. Okay, yeah, that's incorrect. Let's change that, shall we? There we go. Yeah, so welcome to the stream, one and one. It's your favorite stream, this is the one you have the hardest time watching. It's my favorite stream too, because it's the only one I can tune into. As we were talking about just before the stream, I was not able to take part in the Oblivion preview that we had on Tuesday on Handelabra Live, because I teach Tuesday evenings now, and so I'm not able to be here at all for the Handelabra streams. I did guest host twice in a row over the holiday break. I did like the Christmas special and the New Year's special, but that's it until the summer, because I am busy teaching actually 4 days of the week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday evenings I teach. So in particular I teach Tuesdays, and so I can't partake in Handelabra Live at that point. But I've had a good run, and, you know, teaching's fun. I enjoy teaching, and I think my teaching skills has allowed me to become a better streamer and more educational and words and junk and stuff. Let's play games now. Enough of this blah, blah, blah. We're here. We are back in the Gauntlet. We failed 2 weeks ago to finish off the Minotaur. Previously, it was the Archer we brought in to face the Minotaur. I think we didn't even make it to the Minotaur since we got 4 of the things. I think we leveled up twice and descended twice, which accounts for those 4 experience tokens. So the history so far, and this has been like a 2-month adventure, because we had to take last week off for Alchemist, and 3 weeks ago for... No, 3 weeks ago was Alchemist, 1 week ago was Handelabra. I don't know what's going on anymore, I just do things. But we started with the Rogue, who was defeated in Dragon's Cave. Then we tried the Rogue again, who was defeated once again in Dragon's Cave. We brought the Warrior was victorious over the Dragon. Then, the week after that, the Hunter was victorious over the Hydra. The week after that, Paladin was defeated in Yeti's Cavern, but then Paladin was victorious. The week after that, Kalyana was victorious over the Lich. And then a week break, and then the Archer was defeated in Minotaur's Maze, and then a week break, and now I brought the Alchemist into Minotaur's Maze. And the skill that I chose for the Alchemist was Focus Bolt. Spend X mana to gain X strength or X agility as a single day. And we still have the healing talent, healing focus, where we have first aid when you use a potion, heal 1 damage, and recovery when you descend, heal 1 damage, plus we have an extra HP from the healing tree. Or no, it's not from the healing tree, actually, it's from the basic focus. Paladin's unique skill is Mix. Spent potion tokens are placed here and you can spend them. Ignore healing effects when using a potion token from here. Which means that the Alchemist can double dip on potions, but with the slight exception that healing effects get ignored when a potion is used from here. And this includes first aid. It's another healing effect, but Mix ignores it. But the effectiveness of Mix is that whatever potion skills I gain, I can effectively use twice. And when I gain a potion token, I can use that potion token twice, once with a healing effect and once with just the special effect. So it's not a whatchamacallit, the thingy, this thingamabover. It's not a usual thing that you use before each match or whatever, but you can use it whenever to use an extra potion. So heroic feat, that's that word. And the unique skill for Alchemist, I guess this is the unique heroic feat, and then the unique skill, Enchanted Chris. X mana for every 2 mana spent up to 8, roll strength or roll agility. So Force Bolt and Enchanted Chris are 2 mana skills. We have 3 mana dice, so I could certainly throw some into here, especially in matches that don't require as much mana. Force Bolt will let me get a fixed number on a singular die. Enchanted Chris lets me roll dice, which rolling dice tends to be pretty bad, as we see in One Deck Dungeon. Alright, so Minotaur's Maze. On floor 1, the rule is Deadly Maze. Explore limit 3 doors. As you can see, there's only 3 torches here, so when I explore, only 3 doors come out. I guess I also forgot to change the deck. We are actually in a standard deck. As you can see, we don't even have any poison stuff. So we're in a standard deck. Last time we did hybrid, but that's fine. Standard deck's fine. So when we're doing a peril encounter, there is a 5 armor here. So in order to progress in the peril, I need to cover this 5 armor before I can consider covering anything on the card. It also deals 1 heart of damage if I can't cover it. For combat encounters, there are 2 agility 2 squares here, and each of them have a heart on them. So 2 is a pretty low number. The only number that can't cover it is 1. But that does mean my 2 agility dice here kind of have to go here unless I'm willing to take a heart of damage, which with the Alchemist I might be willing to take damage, because even if I use a potion token from here, I still have it over here for Mix. Team Orchid says, so about that one shot you made for this week. Oh boy, let's talk about that when we get to the Sentinels part of the stream. Alright. Here we have apparel. Flame statues. Disenchant for 3 time for 8 mana. We certainly have way more mana dice. By that I mean 1 more, but that is 50% more. Agility 14, I can't actually do, even if all 2 of my agility dice go there. But if I do choose to disenchant, not only do I have to cover this 5, but I have to cover the 8 with the remaining 2 mana, so I don't know that this is such a good idea. We are still on level 1. I like playing on veteran difficulty because it feels satisfying to start from level 1, but it is much tougher to get started. If I do go for this and I fail outright, I'll take 3 hearts of damage and lose 3 time. Or if I go the dodge them route, I mean, I could resign myself to just whatever. I'll take 4 hearts of damage immediately, but I'll spend only 1 time. But the question is this worth doing? Well, we have 3 experience here, which puts us halfway towards that heroic die, and that heroic die is certainly very useful to get early on. The skill is haste. Spend 3 mana to roll 2 agility dice. I think it's probably a bit better to stick with Enchanted Crisp and Force Bolt. At the very least, I could use Enchanted Crisp, put 4 into it, and roll 2 agility dice. And then the item is a sword for strength, so I could get an extra strength die. But I think I'm going to just flee for a second and decide later. Lude wisely putting off his lynching by the crowd. I will discuss exactly the nature to which I decided the one-shot after this game. Alright, we have another peril, and this one's worse because the mana number's higher. And the penalties are steeper. But the skill, critical strikes change 1 or 2 agility dice into heroic dice of the same values. Experience is 4, which is a little better than the 3, but the item is a strength and a heart, but yeah, I'm gonna flee again. Several weeks ago, we decided that fleeing is kind of bad because you spend so much time, but oh boy, another peril. And ooh, this man is a little more manageable. Ha! Ha! Get it? Manageable? I think we made that pun before. And the loot. We get a mana die, which will certainly help with doing the other perils. Experience is only 2 this time, which makes sense because it's an easier encounter. The potion, spend a potion token to roll 3 mana dice. And I might actually take that potion because with the Alchemist, I tend to want to take potions more often than the other heroes. Because with the other heroes, the thing about taking potions is that you gain potion skills and you get a potion token, but you don't get in items, you don't get extra dice, you don't get a skill, so you don't have means of getting out of various situations, and you don't get experience, and you can't convert potions to experience later. So it's kind of a time waste a bit to get potions, but with the Alchemist, it certainly synergizes well with Mix. And mana is a great potion when I have Enchanted Crisp and Force Bolt. So I'm going to go ahead and enter. I'm going to go for Magic Shield. It's only 1 time, and I'm rolling 3 dice here. I obviously need to get at least a 5 in order to cover that armor, and I get 5, 5, 6. This is... I would like this roll for one of the other encounters. In fact, I think it would have worked for all 3 of them. Every viewer's choice you get involved in, you try to keep things manageable. Alright, so we'll take the potion. I get the token, I don't get the Healy effect, but I have that extra potion token. And since spent potion tokens go here, and by the way, if I use a potion token from here, it does get exhausted. It's not a cyclical effect of, oh, I'm gonna spend this potion token. Oh wait, this is a spent potion token. I'm gonna put it here. Oh, I'm gonna spend this potion token. Oh, this is a spent potion token. I'm gonna put it here. No, it's not like that, of course. So now I have mana. I'm gonna go back to flame statues now. I'm gonna do disenchant, of course. And we'll roll the dice. And if I have the same 5, 5, 6 roll, then I will be done. Instead, I get 1, 4, 4, which is a bit perilous because I can't cover the 5. If I do 8, I can certainly cover the 5, and I can increase one of these dice, but I still won't have enough to cover the 8. So I'm going to start with mana. I spend a potion token from here, which goes into Mix, and then I roll the dice, and I get my 5. So now it doesn't matter that I don't have... Or, I have a 5, and that's all that really matters. And I will end the encounter. And now, I think we'll take the... Oh, I guess I'll take the experience, actually. Because when I complete the other peril encounter, I will then level up. Yeah, we'll do that. And then we'll go back here. We will slow time. And then we will roll our 3 mana dice. And we get 1, 2, 2. A terrible roll. I will use mana. And now you see I have a choice whether I want to use this heroic feat or skip it. But I will use it because I don't need the Healy effect. And I roll a 1, 6, 1, which... Well... That kind of sucks. I can cover the 5, but I'm still so far away from covering this. So do I want to just do the 3 hearts and 2 time? I don't think I do. I'm gonna pull, let's see, so I only have 2 mana dice left in my supply, so if I use mana again, which I certainly will, I'll have to discard one of these. If I want to roll all 3, I will certainly discard one of the ones, because I will roll at least a 1, so it's not like I'm losing anything. And now I have a 6/5/5, which if I had started with that, I wouldn't have needed to use mana twice. Oh well. End encounter, and take the experience, level up. I now have an extra potion token, and I have a heroic die. So, bit of a rough start, but we have a mana potion, and I have my heroic die. Hello, Seamus Butler. Good relevant time of day to you, too. Look at this peril. We're doing perils all day. Cave-in. So, we have Dismantle, spend 2 time, try to cover 6 strength. Still have to cover the 5 armor, of course. We do have the I keep wanting to call this agility. We have the heroic dice, so it's actually 3 dice I'm rolling. So it's kind of like, you know, when I first got this mana card, is what I'm doing here. Climb over it, agility 11. Technically doable. If I roll a 5/5/6 or better, then I could cover the 5 and cover the 11, and I would spend no time. The item is a mana, which mana will certainly at least work towards Enchanted Curse and Force Bolt. The skill is Crushing Blow. Spend a strength die, gain a strength 6, and I love the fixed dice skills because they certainly come in handy, especially when we get to the Minotaur, who needs a 6 to cover that square. Experience is only 2. Now that I'm at level 2, I'm not as quick to want to level up. It's 8 experience to get to level 3, which only gives me 2 more items, 1 more skill, and an extra potion token. At this point, 10 experience would take me to level 4, which gives me 2 more items, 1 more skill, an extra potion token, as well as the heroic die. Everyone loves heroic dice because they can be used on any square, but I think spending all of my cards on experience to get to level 4 will hurt me because I won't have enough skills and dice to really do much at that point, especially because presumably I'll have descended at some point and the dungeons, the matches will be harder. Anyway, do I want to do this? I think I want Crushing Blow. Yeah, so I will enter, I will dismantle. So now I can't use mana because I chose the strength route, but I couldn't have chosen any mana route because there was none. And I got my 5 for the armor, and I have my 6 for the strength, so that's perfect. Hey, Citizen, how are you doing? I'll take the skill. So now let's explore this door. It's, oh my gosh, a peril encounter! Alright. So this one's a harder version of the last one. Clobber logs, 2 time, 8 strength, dodge logs, 14 agility. If I do this, I can't cover it for surezies. Potential loot is an agility die or static burst. Spend 4 mana, gain 4 strength and 4 agility, and increase one of your dice, not necessarily one of these 2, by 1, or 3 experience. You're doing Friday-y? It's Friday, gotta get down on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to the weekend. I love that song. I know everyone hates that song. I love that song. It's so catchy. And then everyone hates me for loving that song, so. I'm not as happy about this one. Crushing Blow won't help me here because this is a combat only skill. But I do want, I mean, I obviously need more dice at some point. Agility is one that, I mean, between strength and agility, we're low on both. Mana is at least nice because I can certainly put that between Enchanted Chris and Force Bolt, but we've not had an opportunity to do so because we've not had a combat encounter yet. I do need, yeah, I'm gonna need to do this. I'm getting tired of all these perils. I want to do a combat already. I will roll my 3 dice, and with these 3 dice, I roll 4, 6, 6. All right, that's good. It's more than good. It's great. All right, Static Burst I like to take, but my mana is stretched thin between the 2 base skills that I have, so I'm gonna focus more on not mana skills. Under the presumption that my mana will either go here or on the board, so I'm gonna take the agility die. And then we'll go on door number 3. Oh boy! It's a combat! And it's one that takes one of my items and turns it to experience. Aw, oh, man. Remember when I just took an item here? Remember when I took this item? Yeah? Okay. Well, it's not actually that bad. I mean, there's more strength than dice I have for strength, but I don't have as much agility need outside of the dungeon rules. I do have to cover this mana 9, but we do, of course, have the 3 mana here. The skill is Dexterity, which is the agility's equivalent of Crushing Blow. Spend an agility die, gain an agility 6. So I'm pretty happy to get that, because we certainly want to get an agility 6 against the boss without much worry. So I'm going to go and enter. I'll take the experience. Thank you very much. So much for your pacifist run. Alright, so what do we have here? Well, I have enough to cover the 9 by spending all of my mana. The 6 I can't cover currently. I have something to cover the strength 5. I have stuff to cover the agilities. I can cover the strength 3, and I can cover the strength 5 by using Crushing Blow. So this leaves everything but this 6 exposed. And I don't know if there's a good way to get that 6 covered. Probably the best way would be, well, I could certainly use mana to do that. Well, the thing is, mana isn't a guarantee that that's going to happen. And because I'm a math person, I can actually tell you the chances of rolling at least 1 6 with 3 dice. It's pretty simple to figure out the chances of rolling at least 1 out of 3. The chance will be, what will that be? 1 minus 5/6 cubed. So that's a 42% chance that I would roll a 6 with mana. Now, if I wanted to consider the fact that I could roll a 5 and use aid, that changes things, but that would be a bit of a harder calculation. Could do it if I spend some time thinking about it, but there is the possibility of, you know, just taking this 5, putting it onto 6, and using aid to turn into a 6. But then I would have to stretch my other numbers. Obviously, I can't do it right now because I have to cover the shield. And if I move this off right now, that's at 7. I could increase 2 of these manas to do that, but then this 3's not covered, so I'm just going to be happy with where I'm at. I'm happy to take hearts because I do have this recovery skill, and of course, if I use a potion from here, I heal from first aid and cure. Time is a little sad, but that's okay. We haven't spent too much time, only like 15. Alright, now I have dexterity. We can explore at least once more. Well, just once more. I can spend at least one more turn on this floor, though. You can enter one of these doors and see what it is and what it entails, and it's apparel! And it's pure agility. The potion, however, is invisibility, which, as we know, Alchemist loves potions. So, if I disarm them, 3 time is spent, which turns into 1 heart, which Alchemist takes. But certainly disarming is much easier than running through, since I have the 2 agility dice plus the heroic die for 3. Covering the 5 and the 11 requires a 5, 5, 6 or better. So I think we're going to take the heart, because I do want that potion. And then I'll roll the dice. I got 6. I did the 1 out of 216. I could have gone the other route. Alright. I could have gone without the heart of damage, I guess. The potion, which actually heals me, so that's great. And I think I'm actually going to stay on the floor, because 2 time will be spent. I'll take a heart of damage, but I could enter 1 door, decide what I'm going to do. 2 time will be spent. There'll be 2 hearts on here, and then I could explore the other door, presuming that I don't spend extra time in whatever encounter I'm in. And we can try to get something a little extra. We have the Goblin. X equals 4 per open door, including this one, so it's currently 4. No mana on this card, which actually is good because now I could use Enchanted Curse and or Force Bolt. So I think we're just going to go and fight it, because Crushing Blow and Dexterity means certainly we can cover the higher squares, and there's actually not much time on this card. A lot of hearts, though, but not as much time, so this shouldn't be too bad. Roll the dice, and we get numbers. So this heroic 1 can certainly be thrown into Crushing Blow or Dexterity, which wouldn't be too bad of an idea, because it will save me the need to get as many strength and agility dies. We have this 3 that can go into dexterity, but and then we have this 6, 5, and 2, which will go into Force Bolt and or Enchanted Cris. Now Enchanted Cris caps at 8. So I could put the 6 and the 2 into Enchanted Cris for maximum effect, and the 5 into Force Bolt, which is effectively max effect here. The Handelabra GameSbot just told you Dolphin's Die will be starting shortly. Yeah, this is just the warm-up game, people. Alright, well, let's see. So let's think about what we want to do. I have to get a Strength 3, an Agility 4, and an Agility 2. Now the Strength isn't a concern at all, because Crushing Blow, so I can actually just do this right now. And the Agility, I can use Force Bolt to get an Agility 5. And then I don't really care what happens with Enchanted Cris, because even if I get all 1s, one of them goes into Dexterity to give me a 2. So let's just roll all Agility dice and see if I can do the all 1s trick. Nope. That's good, though. And I did it. Not hard at all. The skill, prevent 1 heart in the boss fight, prevent 2 hearts used before suffering consequences, or the item, which is a strength. And we don't have any items anymore, but that dodge skill is pretty useful, because it can certainly let me just, heart prevention is more than just, you know, saving yourself from healing. It means that if there's a square on the board that the consequence is 1 heart, and I use dodge, I can just ignore that square. In the boss fight, prevent 2 hearts, so, you know, there's various 2 heart situations here. I could potentially not have to worry about covering this strength 6 by using dexterity, or not dexterity, dodge. So I'm replacing this strength 6 with a single agility die, which is cool. But the strength die certainly is generally useful. I think I'm just gonna go with the strength, because I do want more dice. I feel like I'm still weak on dice. We do have good fixed roll skills right now, but I don't have good volume of dice. Ice Elemental. Before the encounter, spend 3 time, which means I'll take a heart of damage straight up. And there's a number of squares here. There's the Strength 11 armor, which I have to cover. Which, since we do have the extra strength die, can be a little easier to cover when we do have Crushing Blow. 4, 5, and 6 with mana, and I only have the 3 mana dice and no other means of getting mana. Well, outside of mana, literally mana. I do have this invisibility skill. And I do have a spent potion and mix. So generally I kind of like to use this when I need to. Because if I do the encounter, I spend 3 time and I have to worry about covering everything. If I just do invisibility, I will still take a heart of damage, but I will not have to deal with the rest of the encounter. So I think I'm just going to use invisibility. 4 experience is nice. It will put me almost at level 3, which doesn't do much except let me carry more items and skills. Flurry, spend 2 strength to roll 2 agility and 1 strength. At least I could put my 2 weakest strength dice there, but I don't know. My weakest die already goes there. The item is an agility and a mana. Agility and a heart. You know, it'd be fun if an item could have 2 dice on it instead of just a dice and a heart, but that'd be too OP. So I'm gonna use invisibility, and we'll use the heroic feats. And I'll take the item, and now I have balanced dice, which I don't know if that's ideal, but I have balanced dice. All right. So now we're on floor 2. So the extra rule, crumbling walls, when you explore, spend an extra time. So now exploring is more costly. Not only do I only have 3 doors, but I spend 3 time instead of 2 exploring. Well, I guess it's like, I mean, there's not time spent exploring, but I mean, like, of course, like, you spend your entire turn exploring, so that's 2 time. Anyway, yeah, so, and the combat encounters have 2 3 armor strength thingy-bobbers, and the peril adds another armor, so lots of forced things we have to do. Oh boy, it's the Phantom. Ethereal. Ethereal, I think. Immediately discard all 1s and 3s rolled. Very difficult. And obviously lots of strength and agility we need, which is made more difficult by the fact that we're discarding lots of things. We do have an invisibility. Probably will use it. Using it will actually completely heal me between first aid and cure, which is nice. We have room for an item and a skill, obviously, because it doesn't say a warning down here. We can get the extra agility to help with, well, I guess it's combat that's there, not agility. Triple Strike, it's a nice skill, gives you fixed numbers, but it's very costly in terms of strength. And against the Minotaur, oh, let me do this. This happens sometimes if I click too fast. If you go here and then you do this and you click out, then the game doesn't let you do a thing. See, like I'll show you. Do this, click out, and now you can't rotate ever again. So I think that's a bug that needs to be reported, but it's at least fixable. All right, so against the Minotaur, we need lots of strength. So Triple Strike takes away my strength and gives me a strength 5, which okay, and a mana 5 and an agility 5, and one of them can be increased, which means I can certainly cover one of those 6s, but I don't know, I think it's too costly. And yes, I could randomly roll all 1s and 3s and forcibly take 8 hearts in 2 time. So we're definitely gonna invisibility. Well, I was gonna invisibility anyway. But yeah, I was talking about these. I don't want the skill, and I think I'll take the item. The experience will let me carry more items and skills if I level up, but we'll just take the item. Hashtag blame John. Alright, flame statues. One of these is a mana door, which is great because we do have a mana potion. Disenchant 3 time for 8 mana. Dodge them, we actually have more agility dice than mana, but covering this 14 is harder. The skill is backstab. Spend an agility to roll 2 strength, which, I mean, against the Minotaur is great. The item is mana, but we're filled on items. The experience is 3. So I'm gonna enter. I'm gonna disenchant, and then we're gonna roll our 4 dice and see what we get. 3, 4, 6, 1, which I don't think is enough, because I'd have to put the 6 there. And I'm 3 away, which seems like 8 isn't gonna help, but if I actually take the 6 out of there, I'm gonna put the 6 there. I can't do it right now because I have to cover the shield, but if I increase these 2 dice by 1, which I will certainly do, then I can cover the 5, and I'll have enough to cover the 8. So let's take backstab. This puts me maxed out on items and skills, but now whatever non-potion thing I get will add experience. Which is why I generally go for items and skills before experience, because I can convert items to experience later anyway. So, Pit of Spikes. No mana here. The agility situation is just as hard as it was last time. Climb around, spend 3 times to try to cover this 8. The consequences of this is a little less steep than jump over, and it's 1 fewer heart of damage, but it's 3 extra time as opposed to no extra time. So I could just resign myself to take the penalties here. If I jump over, I can certainly try to cover this 5 to not take that heart, but if I take the 3 hearts, I mean, I have no damage right now. I can take damage, and later I'll have potions I can use to heal, or when I descend, recovery will kick in. So, certainly, like, doing this would be basically to get the 3 experience, but yeah. We'll enter, we'll jump over to not spend that time, and maybe we'll get exceptionally lucky. And it actually is a pretty good roll. We have a 5, we can cover the 3, and I can cover the 14, so no penalties. Health in an item is hard to pass up unless you're the fairy. Yeah. I'm certainly not going to convert these agility hearts just yet, and I already have this skill. Am I allowed to double up on the skill? Have 2 of it, so I trigger 1 but have the other one still? I don't know if that's in the rules or not. I'm gonna take the experience, and then we'll explore, which means I will spend an extra time. So we went from 18 in the deck down to 10. That's how much it costs to end the turn and then get more cards. I guess technically it was 16 down to 10. Okay. The Boulder. Valor. I love this skill. I think slow time is what we're gonna do, although, I mean, slow time would be if I anticipate using mana. If I run past, it's the same sort of routine as last time. I could resign myself to take the 4 hearts of damage. Yeah, we'll just run past it. All skills have to be unique? Okay. Also, hey, Sanvar, how are you doing tonight? I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. So I have a 3, I have a 5, and I am 3 away. Which is unfortunate because since I'm I'm efficient with these squares and they both have to be covered because they're armors, I'd have to use aid twice, which is going to use 1 potion here, put it into mix, and then I could use mix whatever. I'll have 1 potion token left. But again, 4 hearts, I'm at no damage. I could take the hearts. It's a ballsy strategy, to be sure. But I do want Valor, I think, because I don't want to, like, replace those dice. I mean, I could replace an agility with the mana and it'd be basically about equal, but I do want to get the extra heroic die for Valor, which certainly is only effective on combat encounters, not perils, but helps against the boss, helps against the combats. Speaking of which, Fire Elemental. Before the encounter, 1 hero loses 1 heart. Which is definitely not too bad. I mean, come on, I have hearts. But there's a lot of mana I have to cover here. Well, technically speaking, I don't have to cover it. Current consequences, 6 heart, 5 time. And so 6 hearts would kill me, 5 time would put me down to 2. But I mean, so these strength, the only use for strength in this is to cover the armors, which are required. The agility, we have 4 dice. We have a dexterity, so the 6 is covered. And then 3, 2, 2, hopefully the other 2 dice, or other 3 dice will be good. And then we have a 3, 6, 11, which between these 3, we have 3 hearts and 3 time. Question is, do I want to use invisibility? I think not. I mean, I can use mana if worse comes worse, because mana is the bigger concern. So let's go ahead and enter. Take the heart. Roll the dice. That's... I see 1s and 2s. Not too bad, though. Whatever. Let's roll the heroic first. We get a 5. Okay, good. That was almost a 1. I saw it almost decide to be a 1, and it changed its mind. Thank goodness. All right. Well, the strengths are covered. I don't know if there's... I could use Crushing Blow, but I don't know yet. We'll figure out what to do with that one. The agilities, if I convert this 1 to a 6, then I'm certainly good. I could replace this 4 with this heroic 2 in case this 4 serves a better purpose elsewhere, but it's not clear yet if it will. The mana, I don't have a 6 unless I convert these 2, in which case I lose this 6. Unless I use Crushing Blow and I convert one of those 6s. Well, I'll use Crushing Blow at least, because I don't think there's any reason not to. So I could currently, so we'll put that 6 there. I can convert this to a heroic 6 to cover that mana 6. And then this 5 is currently the only means of covering that 3. I don't know if that's a good idea. I can cover the 11 if I do that. And now the only thing that's uncovered is this 3. Unfortunately, it's kind of tough to get that 3 covered. If I move that agility 4 out, it's not gonna work. Those are 3s. I mean, this is only 1 time. I think I'm definitely gonna do this for the 6th, though. But this is only 1 time, which in the grand scheme of things, 1 time isn't significant. Yeah, so that has to be there. That has to be there. My strengths... Can't really do anything with those. Those are both 2s. If I take those out, I'm taking a heart of damage. I think heart for time is not a fair trade. If I could somehow turn this into a mana, it would be nice, but I don't have an extra die. Actually, well, no, it's not gonna work. I was thinking maybe I could, like, put this 2 in here into Enchanted Crisp, but that's not gonna help at all. That's a terrible decision. Yeah, I'll just do the 1 time. Okay. The item is mana and heart, which is excellent. The skill, consistency, change any or all of your dice to 4s at the expense of 1 agility. Which, I like this skill a lot, especially when there's another skill that says pick a digit, change all up to 5 dice of that value to 6s, because then between the 2 of those, you get a bunch of 6s. I don't remember where that skill is, but that is a great combo that helps a lot. Do I want to go for that, though? Well, I mean, at the very least, the skill at least turns bad dice into 4s. So, I might just do it. Especially because we do have Enchanted Crisp, which rolls dice. And if I roll at least 1 agility, and it's a bad agility, I can use consistency to fix it. Probably want the mana, though. But... Lazarus with 500 bits! Thank you for the support to the Handelabra stream. Your patronage is much appreciated. Okay. I want the mana die. If I jump around, this will end the round and I'll descend. If I jump over, I might do it. And then I'll have another round, or another turn. 2 time will be spent. I'll explore, put 2 doors down, spend an extra time, which will cover the door, and yeah, that actually will hurt me. So I might just decide this is my last floor. None of my skills are peril skills still, because all the best skills are combat skills, of course. I mean, that's a lie. There are good peril skills. What I meant is that all the good skills are not both combat and peril. The ones that help most against the boss tend to not work well in perils. Anyway, Armor Crush. Gain Heroic 6. You can only use it to cover a box with armor, which unfortunately Minotaur does not have armor, so the skill doesn't provide a benefit against the boss. It would only help in combat encounters with armors. Which, yeah. You bought the actual card game a year ago, but your daughter poured orange juice all over it. Oh man, I hate when that happens. Oh man. The digital game is nice because you don't have to worry about spilling orange juice. I mean, I guess you could spill orange juice all over your computer and then it's all sticky and stuff. Which is definitely tragic. When I got my first laptop, I got it for Christmas. And on December 28th, I spilled Coke on it and all the keys got sticky and it sucked. Oh man. Alright, we're entering. If I climb around, it's a bit easier. If I jump over, I'm less likely to fulfill it. It's 4 dice versus 5 dice. And I have to cover the 5 and the 3. I'm more likely to get a 5 with 5 dice than 4 dice, but I'm also more likely to get bad rolls with 5 dice. I'm also likely to get nothing I can work with 4 dice. So, if I climb around, I'm spending 3 time. If I fail to cover it, I'll take 3 hearts of damage. I mean, I still have these skills, of course, but if I fail to cover, I'll take 3 hearts of damage, I'll survive, and the floor is done. If I jump over and I fail to cover it, I mean, the round's over regardless. But if I jump over and I fail to cover it, I take 4 hearts of damage. So I'm gonna climb around. I mean, at the very least, I hope to cover the 5. And if I get a 4, I can aid it. I get 2 4s. Which, yeah, I'm gonna aid. So I don't know if that's gonna be good enough to cover. Yeah, that's not gonna be good enough to cover all of those. But I'm okay with this. I'll just do that. I could use aid again, but I'll save the potions. I'll take the mana. And I'll descend. Alright, so for those of you that are interested in Dolphin's choice, just wait until we get to the Sentinels stream. Or Sentinels part of the stream. We're gonna finish the 1-deck dungeon. So now, floor 3, Poison Dart Traps, which has no extra rule itself, but in combat encounters there is this 12 box that has 3 hearts on it. It's wide, so I can put multiple dice in there, of course. It's impossible to roll a 12 on a singular die. Peril encounters have this 6. It is not an armor, but it is a penalty of heart and time. And rolling a 6 in the peril is difficult when you only have 4 dice. But let's see. Now I do want to try to get to level 4, since this is the last floor. But let's see. So, Shadow, Fade. Spend time for each skill you use. This might be a good encounter to use invisibility on, because unless I anticipate using 2 or fewer skills, invisibility will be better on time. Now there's these mana, there's a lot of agility, and we don't have that many agility dice, and then we have to cover the strengths as well. So I'm just going to use invisibility and keep things simple. Use my heroic feat. And this potion is excellent. Heroism. Change 2 of your non-heroic dice to be 6s. I will take that, because I am the Alchemist. You can't roll a 12 on a d6. You must have some bad dice. Translator's note. This means menacing. Hey, it's Phantom again. This is a good time to use invisibility. Welcome to floor 3, where all I use is invisibility. Alright, Steady Hands is actually the peril version of Valor. And it's actually, I would say it's a top tier skill, except for the fact that it's only good for perils and not for combats and by extension bosses. But getting an extra heroic die in peril encounters makes them significantly easier. Unfortunately, I'm maxed on skills, and since I'm already on floor 3, Steady Hands is not going to have as much utility as it would have had if this was my first encounter. Of course, since this is on this encounter, it would have been hard to get anyway. I'm going to take... I was going to say I'm going to take the experience, but I still have an item slot, so I'm going to take the item, I think. Because now I'm 4, 4, and 4 on dice. It's a peril! It's the rune puzzle. This is a potion. Reroll all your 1s and 2s and roll a heroic die. Alchemist loves potions. Every potion token she gets means you can use a potion twice. Even if I don't anticipate I'm using this potion, I can use it for other things. I mean, I want to push towards the extra heroic die, but you know, this potion grants a heroic die itself, so, you know, it's kind of probably better to get this potion than to try to farm experience. So we're gonna enter. I could invisibility, but I think we'll just decipher it. Because reasons. We have heroism, which actually this will basically mean I can cover squares. I can get this 6 with heroism. The 3, the 5. Well, let's put the 5 there. Now, I guess that doesn't really matter at all, though, but... actually, hold on. Well, no, I guess it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I use aid versus heroism, because I'm gonna win this encounter anyway. So I'm gonna take the heroic feat potion, turn those into 6s, put those there. Alright, and now I'll claim the potion, because it essentially grants me an extra heroic die by itself, as long as I spend a potion token, which, by the way, the Alchemist is very good at potions. So I think now I'm not concerned about getting to level 4, so I'm not going to worry about that anymore. I think it's going to be exceptionally difficult unless I get 3 encounters that give 4 3/3 experience. Looping Ooze gives 3 experience. Unfortunately, spend time for each one rolled, which is bad to get at the end of a dungeon floor. The item, we're maxed on items. The skill I don't want, so this would just be for experience if I do it. So, unfortunately, if I roll any 1, if I roll 2 1s, I won't be able to do the remaining, well, I guess I have a free heart with recovery. Yeah, we'll enter. We'll see. I was gonna say I don't have enough time to explore the other doors without penalty, but I do have recovery here that heals me. And I do have first aid and whatnot, so... I have 2 1s. Okay. Well, let's use Valor, because that's gonna give me another 1. Nope, give me a 4. Alright. Consistency will give me 4s. If it will convert, so I have to spend an agility for it, but it will turn these other dice to 4s. But before I do that, I probably want to consider Enchanted Chris, because these dice that get rolled will possibly get increased to 4. It can also spend time, so I have to watch out. But these dice right now, other than, well, one of the 2s can go, one of the mana 2s has a use, and like I have to cover, or want to cover, those agility squares at least. Crushing Blow, I can at least, yeah, we'll put the strength 1 into that. And I can cover that 6. Those 3s, not really good ways to cover those unless I use consistency to turn that into a 4. And then there's a 5 there. Because if I put this 5 there, it just feels like a massive waste, but I guess it doesn't really matter as much. There's a 4 there, there's a 5 there. I do have 2 heroic 4s. So actually, here we go. I'm actually good. I can get dexterity. And then I just need 1 extra die, which Force Bolt will do it. Or I could have turned the 2 dice into heroics, or other things. So there we go. We will... I'm gonna take the experience. And then we'll see. We want high experience encounters, or perhaps something I can convert an item to. Bandit. Dodge. Making a heroic die uses 3 dice, not 2. And holy crap, all of those agilities. But we do have means of getting agility. Even though heroics are going to be hard to get. And every time I face a bandit, I always forget it costs 3 dice. So it'll be fun to forget that this time. But we'll enter. And we will roll dice. And then I will roll dice. So everything that's not... If everything that's lower than 4 we have to think about. Because consistency can change them to 4s. The question is, do I want to do that? I mean, this heroic or this agility 1's not going to do too much. This one can turn into a 6. Do I want that 6? I probably do. We have a 5. Not another strength 5 though, unless I use crushing blow, which I probably should. And actually, yeah, so I'm not concerned about strength now. My strength is good. My mana, obviously I don't need, but some numbers of it can go into Force Bolt and Enchanted Chris. If I'm going to use Enchanted Chris, which obviously, that's to get agility dice, it would be best to do 8 into that, since this cap's at 8. And then Force Bolt I can use to get another agility. But watch out, because, you know, I can only have 8 agility dice. And if I use Enchanted Chris and I get 4 agilities, I guess I would have to use Dexterity at that point, and that will free up an agility slot. So, let's do that then. Or not Dexterity, Consistency, that one. Let's do Enchanted Chris first. And get 4 agilities. And we got 1/1, which is good. I'm going to put one of those in the Dexterity. Or put one of the ones in the Dexterity. I'll put 1 into Consistency, and now I can change 5 dice to 4s, which included the mana, but the mana doesn't actually matter. I'm going to use that to get a Agility 6. So, look at all of these numbers I have here. Can I cover these squares? If I can't, that is sad. And the answer is yes. Even without the skill that turns dice into 6s, consistency is still good. So, let's take the 3 experience. Maybe the next encounter will be a 4 experience. If not, I can convert one of my hearts into experience. So we'll take the 3. So now I just need 4 more experience, which will give me the heroic die. It will give me a potion token, which will also heal me, this heart, and will also give me a potion token that I can use for the boss. So it's the Wraith, which is a tad unfortunate. Although I guess this is 3 experience, so I'd be converting something here. I'd probably convert the strength to experience. I could just decide to invisibility it though, because I don't need time anymore, and I have a plethora of potions after I get the experience. I could save the potion, no. I mean, it's a gamble. Alchemist gets a lot out of Dex. It's their second most important. Wait, wrong game. Alright, let's think. I mean, if I do this, I'll convert, I think... Actually, no, I'll convert the agility, so I'll have an extra strength for the boss, because that's, again, strength is the most important stat here. And since I did the accidental thing, now I can't flip this card anymore, people! I exited out too fast. But yeah, if I convert the agility, I mean, I have to cover these, but I'm not worried about that so much. Lots of strength here, but we have lots of dice. Yeah, I'm gonna just do it and save my potion token. We'll convert the agility. Now, you don't level up until after the fight, so don't think the game is bugged. It might be bugged, but as to my understanding, you only level up during the consequences phase or whatever. Okay, that agility roll was sick, or that heroic roll was sick. We got 2 agility or 2 heroic 6s. That is amazeballs. Can I say amazeballs on a family-friendly stream? I'm gonna say it, amazeballs. If I do crushing blow, I think then, I mean, I'm short at a strength, but we'll do that. I could say amaze balls. Thank you. Okay, so I'm short 1, but I have the heroic. Now I do have to cover that in mana, of course, but alright, if I do it with this, then I have a 6 there, and then I have the strengths covered, and I have that. So now I have to cover, I gotta get another 6, or I could turn this into a heroic 2, and then I can throw that into dexterity to get an agility 6, which is good enough. Yes, you can, but you shouldn't, and it has nothing to do with family friendliness. Okay, fine. Alright, we are in a great position here. We have 4 potions, and when I use one of these 4, they go into mix, which means I will have 8 potions, 4 of which won't have healing effects, but I'm at max health, so it doesn't matter as much. I have mana to get extra mana dice. I have heroism that can change 2 non-heroic dice to 6s. I have clarity, which re-rolls my bad dice and gives me a heroic die. I don't really need the re-roll as much because I have consistency, but I mean, I guess I could theoretically just re-roll them anyway in case I get a 5 or a 6, as that can't hurt. So yeah, we're in very good shape here. Let's see how this goes. So the Minotaur, he has 10 health. X equals 4 times the number of damage on the Minotaur, minimum 12. So this is a 12 square. At most, it can be a 36 square, at which point it's kind of very impossible to cover. So the armor boxes are on the left, and there's, or not armor, the skull boxes are on the left, and there's 5 of them. So this match will last at least 2 rounds, ideally will last 2 rounds, and if it does last 2 rounds, then the second round he'll have 5 damage, so this will be a 20 square. The things on the right are just hearts, so they're not as big of a concern, especially since I'm at full health, especially because I have first aid and lots of potions. So we're in very good shape. Let's see what we do here. Several 6s right off the bat. Valor gives me another heroic die, which is a 4. I can cover the mana. I can cover the agility. So I can keep this 2 for consistency, which will currently cover these, or convert those 3 dice to 4s. I don't need one of them to be 4 because we have Crushing Blow, which I can do that with. But Enchanted Chris, if I do this with the mana I have right now, before I even think about that, am I done? Like, do I need to even think about this? That's the question to ask, is there anything to think about? The answer is no, we're done. See? Perfect round. Sometimes I get distracted trying to optimize my dice before I realize, like, oh, I don't even need to do any of this. Alright, round 2. This is now a 20 square. We have 1 6. So not as good of a roll. We have lots of 1s. They can be re-rolled. I mean, we do have a mana 6, but not a mana 5. I have a heroic 5, but I don't know if that's a good place for that. I mean, alright, so let's forget about the 6s for a second, because if I cover all the left squares, the match is done. So that's the thing, is I want to just cover the left squares. So I could do that if I, well, I can start working towards that if I put those there. Crushing Blow gives me a 6, which covers one of those 5s. I can use a potion to get other 5s. So let's use Heroism, change 2 of my non-heroic dice to be 6s, and the answer is obviously the strengths. So now I have to cover the 20, which we are 1 short. So I can do that by force bolting and getting a strength 1. And now I'm taking 6 hearts of damage, but I will survive and the boss will not. Consistency and aid would also have done it, yep. Achievement unlocked, Gauntlet Victor. I don't know if that's showing up on stream, but we have defeated the Gauntlet. I've earned 11 of these check marks, which don't really do anything because the Gauntlet is done, but I'll at least finish the basic skill, talent, focus. Nicely done. Totally recommending my stream to people who say the dice are too random to ever win. See, it's not about the randomness of the dice. That's the thing. Like, I mean, with the skills I had, there were certainly a lot of fixed outcome skills. And I think those are truly the valuable things because, like, after a certain point, it doesn't really matter what you roll. Like, certainly getting 6s and 5s help with covering various squares, but, you know, the potions I had as the Alchemist meant I don't have to worry about not getting a 6. Some of the skills got me free 6s, and then I have the skill that increases various dice to 4s. But yeah, I think this game is great because at first glance it's just a completely random game, and you're just at the mercy of the dice, which, I mean, you sort of are at the start of the game, but the choices you make mitigate those bad luck rolls and allow you to progress. And as we saw, once I got momentum, the rest of this was pretty trivial. So this run is complete with a score of 9. Congratulations. Try again for a lower score or play on a higher difficulty. What? You don't like the fact that I played on Veteran? You want me to play on Fearless next time? Is that what you're saying? Okay, so the recap of this. Game 1, Rogue was defeated in the Dragon's Cave. Game 2, Rogue was defeated in the Dragon's Cave. Game 3, Warrior was victorious over the Dragon. Game 4, Hunter was victorious over the Hydra. Game 5, Paladin was defeated in the Yeti's Cavern. Game 6, Paladin was victorious over the Yeti. Game 7, Kaliana was victorious over the Lich. Game 8, Archer was defeated in the Minotaur's Maze. Game 9, Alchemist was victorious over the Minotaur. And then I can do a new run. The leaderboard, I think we saw previously, or actually it's not showing up on your stream or screen at all. This is pulling up a Steam overlay thing, which actually shows the top scores, and the top scores are, of course, 5. Several people got 5s. This is a Veteran Gauntlet. If I go to Fearless Gauntlet, are there 5s still? The answer is, of course, yes. And they're 5s all the way down. How many of them are honest 5s versus cheating 5s? I mean, if someone were to cheat, they would probably put in a 1, thinking that's the best you could do without realizing. But anyway, I like the Alchemist. If you see my statistics, Alchemist is one that I am undefeated on because being able to reuse potions really helps the game a lot, because the potions tend to be really strong, which is obviously like they should be because you have limited uses of them, but the Alchemist lets you use them doubly, and so you can double up on those effects. That's her heroic feat, so she doesn't have a proper heroic feat outside of that, but her heroic feat is essentially your best potion several more times. Kaliana is another one I'm undefeated on, because I think that her sort of invincibility helps a lot. If you take too much damage in a single turn, you die and the game's over. But as long as you understand that and you plan around that, it makes you more willing to take consequences, I think. It also makes me more willing to stay on a floor for longer than normal. The one that I have the worst record on is the Archer, but I think that's actually shared among most people. Yeah, the Archer has the worst global record of all of them. So now we just fought the Minotaur. The Minotaur is about even. in victories and losses. I'm slightly skewed towards losses. The dragon has a terrible record, but I think that's because most people who play the game play the dragon and then lose and then stop playing the game. So I think the interesting statistics are on the harder difficulty ones, like the Indrax, which is that the difficulty 4 one, or is that Hellhound? I think it's Hellhound. Well, one of those two, like, they're difficulty 4, yet they're still about even in wins versus losses, whereas the dragon is ridiculously skewed. You were just joking, but alchemy really is good. No, it is good. It's sick. All right. Now, we are done with the one deck dungeon part of the stream. It is time for what everyone has been waiting for. Everyone's been waiting for this. Literally everyone. We're starting up Sentinels. Once it decides to start. I feel like my computer's been getting slower and slower, especially in the past several months. So it's kind of annoying. I want to get a new desktop, but money. Evil of the Night. I read those two messages at once. Evil Laughter and Bottom of the Night. Yes. Okay, so you can hear the music. It will be on the screen soon. There it is. I'm going to update the game to Sentinels of the Multiverse once Chrome is done loading. Aeon's End. I still have yet to play Aeon's End. I own the game. I bought it physically. I was planning on playing it over winter break. Never got to it. And it's I have it. I opened it up. I didn't actually set anything up, but Sentinels of the Multiverse. There we go. Updates. Okay. So, the moment everyone's been waiting for is the Sentinels part of the stream, because normally this is where we do viewer's choice, but not this week. We're going to do Dolphin's choice. Oh boy, look at that. Dolphin's choice. So let's talk about what went into this, all right? This is going to be a slight spoiler for the game, but I'm going to say it before I get into the game. For the longest time, I've wanted a one-shot where the chairman plays Rook City is Mine and the environment, which is Megalopolis, plays Paparazzi on the Scene in Hostage Situation. I've wanted this for a long time because there was one game where that exactly happened. I played Chairman in Megalopolis. It was a random match, whatever. Chairman in Megalopolis. Chairman played Rook City is Mine. Megalopolis played Paparazzi and Hostage, and I could not play cards or use powers on my first round. And it was exciting to see the, you know, forced skip, draw 2 mechanic. And I wanted to share that because I thought it was pretty cool. So that was really all I wanted. And I made that request to John. And I originally made it like 6 months ago. Probably for reasons it got lost. I reminded him about it several weeks ago. He said, oh yeah, right, yeah, that reminder, yeah, that. So this past Saturday, he messaged me and said, so, what heroes do you want? And I was like, ooh, boy! My original stipulation didn't have any of that. I just wanted the card plays. But he asked me for the hero team, and so I said Chrono-Ranger, Extremist Skyscraper, Dark Watch Mr. Fixer, and Extremist Tempest. There's not really any reason for those heroes, by the way. I just chose them because Chrono-Ranger is my favorite hero. Dark Watch Mr. Fixer, I love his mechanic, and I think Mr. Fixer is an excellent hero. Extreme Primordial's Tempest, I like his mechanic as well. And after I played the first game, I realized, oh hey, actually his base power is really good against the underbosses because they stop them from grabbing Thug from the trash. And Extremist Sky because come on, it's Sky. Sky, guys, Sky. And so I know in the past, John showed the making of a one-shot. I think it was part of the Season 2 Kickstarter, was that he showed like how he sometimes designs a one-shot in that he does a random number generator that searches for a specific seed that involves various conditions, and depending on the complexity of the conditions, it can take a while to find a seed that works. And furthermore, and this is for the record, furthermore, when he finds such a seed, he tests it to make sure that it's good. And John did this on his first try. So before everyone says this is a terrible one-shot and you shouldn't play this, there's no chance of winning, John minted this, for the record, alright? So, for the record, the only conditions in this game that I requested was Chairman in Megalopolis. Chairman's first play, Rook City is mine. Megalopolis plays paparazzi on the scene and hostage situation. I chose the heroes afterwards because John asked me to. That was it. That was the only thing I said to do. Whatever else happened in this one-shot happened because John minted it, and that was the seed he went with, alright? So we're clear on this. Alright. So, here we are. Dolphin's Choice. And I've not actually played a one-shot on stream or video for a long time. This is a good one to get back into. Hello, heroes. You don't know me, but I know you. I want to play a game. You think you have a choice, but the reality is we have already started, and I have already won. You are my hostages, and the paparazzi will not help you out of this situation. This one-shot requires Rook City, Shattered Timelines, and Wrath of the Cosmos, designed with love by Lou Dolphin. And who caught the reference in that, by the way? Yep, let's do that. To be fair, John is so ridiculously good at Sentinels that anytime he says I minted it so it's fair, it's a little like saying God did this so it's easy. I don't know if that's quite the takeaway from that, but there is a path to victory, at least, which is the base requirement. Whether that needs to be adjusted for like the average player minting it, I don't know. Well, what have we here? You're out of your league, heroes. Then good and hard, partner. I aim to put you down, and I don't miss. Okay. Oh, and my things are super low or super fast because I played this super fastly. So we're gonna adjust these, get animations back up because they're cool to watch and all that's good. All right, so chairman, regular chairman in Megalopolis, we have Chrono-Ranger with displaced armory, no executions, sudden contract, and terrible tech strike. Extremist skyscraper with colossal left hook, explosive reveal, and 2 rests and recovers. Darkwatch Mr. Fixer with alternating Tiger Claw, Bloody Knuckles, Harmony, and Salvage Yard. And Extreme Primordial's Tempest with 2 electrical storms, an elemental subwave inducer, and an otherworldly resilience. Alright, let's see what happens. What's the chairman gonna play, I wonder? Oh my, Rook City is mine! Oh man, paparazzi on the scene! Oh man, hostage situation! Alright. So we can't play cards, we can't use powers. Chairman's starting with the fence. And we're pulling out the thief, who's not going to destroy anything. So, Chrono-Ranger cannot play cards, Chrono-Ranger cannot use powers, he's drawing Dead or Alive, and Hunter and Hunted. And Skyscraper cannot play cards and cannot use powers. She draws Emergency Evac and Tectonic Chokeslam. And Darkwatch Mr. Fixer can't play cards, can't use powers, draws Bloody Knuckles and Meditation. And Extreme Primordial's Tempest cannot play cards, cannot use powers, draws Vicious Cyclone and Elemental Subwave Inducer. Alright, my first round is done. That was super easy. Actually, it's not done yet. So, I have played this twice. I lost twice. I've not played this a third time. So this is my chance to, you know, actually do this. I'm going to pretend like I don't know what's going to happen, just so we're clear. I'm not... Alright, I don't know what's happening. Oh man, alright, so I'm going to discard cards here to get rid of paparazzi on the scene, otherwise I can't do anything. So we drew these 2 extra cards, I'm going to have to discard 2 of these. So I don't have a card that gets bounties from my trash, but it could be a good thing to discard the bounties. Displaced Armory, I certainly want to keep. Terrible Tech Strike. I mean, it's a great one-shot when you're set up, because it does a lot of damage with all the +1s, but currently it's terrible. Sudden Contract, definitely want for either By Any Means or Ultimate Target. Hunter and Hunted. I think I'm going to get rid of this one, because I think it's going to take too long for it to get good, and I might take a lot of damage by that point. So Skyscraper, let's see. Rest and Recover is one of those cards that gets a card from your trash to your hand. Unfortunately, it sacrifices your play phase to do so, but this is like a Vernal Sonata card in that you kind of want to avoid discarding this. Explosive Reveal, we are bereft of links, but at least turns her normal. But we do have a variety of normal cards. Colossal Left Hook and Tectonic Chokeslam are huge cards. Those are probably a priority. Tectonic Chokeslam at least is very good for dealing spread damage. There are no villain ongoing cards, by the way, but I guess the ability to destroy environment cards is good. So I think we're going to ditch an Explosive Reveal. Mr. Fixer here, between Alternating Tiger Claw and Meditation, he doesn't really care about Alternating Tiger Claw. I mean, because he can get any style he wants. So I think we're going to ditch the style. And then Extreme Primord's Tempest. Elemental Subwave Inducer is really good against the Chairman because the Chairman's damage is either melee or projectile. So having this out will reduce melee. Well, melee is the retaliation damage from the operative and the Chairman. Some of the well, let's actually look at cards here. The Undivided Attention card is melee. Contract does projectile. Hired Gun does projectile. Where is that one? I went back into the deck instead of the trash because I'm dumb. Hired Gun is projectile. The Muscle does melee himself. He puts an Enforcers out that does melee, but that can be prevented. So melee is predominant. Projectile is a bit more scary, but I think all in all I do want at least one of these, but these are limited. So I think I'm going to ditch one of them. So that destroys Paparazzi. Alright, now we'll do the hostage situation. So I have to discard one for these. So no executions can at least stop things from entering the trash. And so I think that's useful. Dead or Alive is HP regen, but it's pretty slow. So I'm going to ditch Dead or Alive and maybe I'll be able to search my trash for it later. What did I want to do here? I think I was thinking of discarding one of the Rest and Recovers. The alternative is that I hold on to both and I hope to get Thorathian Monoliths and I can play one and Rest and Recover it back the next turn and try to reduce damage that way. But these other cards are also really good. Colossal Left Hook is a combo card, but I have to discard a card and then play a card after that. But I mean, essentially, I'm choosing my two worst cards and I'm discarding them, and I'm starting next round. You're not leaving both out? I mean, I guess I could do another round of skip, skip, draw two, because there's certainly no other way that these cards get destroyed. I think I'm going to stick with my instinct and discard one of the Rest and Recovers. Now, Mr. Fixer. Salvage Yard is great with this team, actually. Unfortunately, Sky had no links. And Tempest actually doesn't have that much equipment. He does have an Elemental Subwave that he just discarded. He will get a Genebound Shackles at some point, maybe. And Chrono has equipment. So I think I want to hold on to Savage Yard. Harmony, I don't have a tool. And it's kind of hard for him to get to the point where Harmony will help. Plus, Darkwatch loves Bloody Knuckles, and I'm keeping Meditation. So I think I'm going to ditch Harmony. Tempest. I, 'cause, I, 'cause, 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 I think we're going to go and ditch one of the electrical storms because I have 2. The only means of card destruction is through thieves, of course, but we'll try to avoid that. All right, hostage situation was destroyed. Police backup is on the scene. Police backup takes a hit on the operative, and now we're on the chairman's turn. All right, round number 2. Rook City is mine. Another one. Oh, man. And then rooftop combat. All right, so let's now discuss this. Because Sanvar certainly was pointing out something that requires future knowledge to know. But once we get done with these things. So, Rooftop Combat is actually a really good card here. Rooftop Combat says, when this card enters play, destroy all other environment cards. So, if you knew this was coming, you could have left Paparazzi and Hostage Situation out and let Rooftop Combat destroy them, saving you 2 cards. I chose not to do that because I'm trying to pretend like this is the first time I'm playing it. Yep, Sondra was teasing. Certainly, if you know it's coming out, which if it's your second time through, you know it's coming out, so you can certainly take advantage of that and keep everyone with 6 cards in their hands. But it doesn't mean you're losing if you do that, if you don't do that. So I'm going to go with the route of I'm not knowing what's coming up. Also, while this card is in play, environment cards cannot be played, which means that Rook City's Mine only brought this out and stopped anything else from happening. Now the environment is frozen. So the environment cannot play cards, and Chairman cannot destroy this card because he doesn't destroy environment cards. So currently the Chairman is frozen. Or, no, not that. That'd be too nice. The environment is frozen. This card gets destroyed if you destroy it yourself, or when hero targets deal non-hero character cards 10 or more damage in a single round since this card entered play. And since the non-character card targets, or the non-hero character cards, rather, are the Chairman who is immune to damage and the operative, I can sort of control when this card leaves play. I can make it leave play out of my own fruition. So it does come with increase all damage dealt by 1, which may or may not be useful. But it does at least give me a little bit of leeway, I guess. So, again, I'm going to pretend like this is my first time through, so I'm going to... I know what the Chairman plays next. I'm not going to assume I know that. I'm just going to play as if it's honest. So, here we are. Select the first target to be dealt damage. So unfortunately, the contract and rooftop combat means this is 4 damage to all targets, or all hero targets, but there's that. But now I can play cards and use powers. Okay. So, we have 2 thieves. That's kind of bad. If they are still out, or I only destroy one of them and then the fence pulls the second one back, we're going to be losing 2 hero ongoings or equipment cards. Which means I could play a total of... Well, I don't even have that many to play. Especially if Mr. Fixer uses his power, in which case I don't even have that many things out. So... let's think. So I have a no executions. When that target would be destroyed, put it on the bottom of its deck instead, and then destroy this card, which... Putting thugs in the deck at least stops them from coming back out. Putting an underboss back in the deck doesn't really do that much because the operative will bring them back anyway. At the very least, I'm guaranteed that they're not going to come back into play immediately, because her mechanic says cards from the top of the villain deck are revealed until an underboss is revealed, and there's 3 more underbosses. So if I know executions an underboss and put it on the bottom of its deck, at least I know that if, say, a prison break comes out, that the underboss won't come back. The chances of that, you know, are only 2 out of 11. So I don't know that that's 100% a good play. But, well, let's think. We have a sudden contract. Sudden contract is great because it can get me by any means, which gives a +1. or ultimate target, which gives a +1 by Chrono-Ranger, and a power usage when that target deals damage the first time each turn. So if I could somehow utilize that, I could perhaps try to take out a target, operative deals damage, Chrono-Ranger uses a power, deals damage, and maybe work towards taking out multiple targets. Terrible Tech Strike, there is a +1 on the board, so this is a 3 and a 2. And then Displaced Armory gives me any equipment that I want, which Danny Boy isn't going to do anything right now. Compounded Bow is 2 and 2, which is good damage. Jim's Hat is an extra card play. Neurotoxin Dart Thrower is a damage reduction effect, which can help with the retaliations, and I do want that at some point, I think. And the Masato, which is not going to do anything, although it is 1 irreducible damage, which might mean something later. So, lots of options here. Perhaps the decision I make here will influence the rest of this game. So, let's think about what the other heroes are going to do. And this is kind of a big turn, so I have to kind of decide what I'm going to do. I don't know, I just feel like, you know, my decisions here are going to affect the rest of the game, so I'm going to be very careful here. Tectonic Chokeslam, this is a pretty risky card because this deals each target 1 projectile damage, and because we have Rooftop Combat that's increased by 1, the contract is also increasing the hero damage by 1. So this is going to hurt us a lot, but it will also hurt all the villain targets for 2, plus I deal 1 target 4, +1, which is 5. That can effectively wipe the board. But I don't know that I need to wipe the board so much. Because we do have Extreme Tempest here. And Extreme Tempest, his power, he deals only 1 target 1 damage, unlike his normal base power, but a non-character target dealt damage this way loses end-of-turn effects until the start of his next turn. So that would certainly mean I could leave one of these underbosses out, and they won't search the trash for their corresponding thug. Unfortunately, the contract is pretty terrible to leave out because of the extra +1. But I could probably, like, I mean, it's just going to be a band-aid, but I could sudden contract for, or no, I could no executions the contract. And then if I use base power and then Tectonic Chokeslam, the contract will be on the bottom of the deck, which will at least mean we don't have to worry about him for a little longer. And then I could actually worry about the contract when I'm a little more set up. That does mean he'll come back out, which means he'll pull out another hired gun, but I don't know. I could then use Thunderstruck on the fence, and then he's not going to pull any more thieves from the trash. And we'll have taken out the other 2 thieves from Tectonic Chokeslam. That only leaves the hired gun that's still on the table, but Fixer could deal with that himself. It'd be a massive waste of damage, but he could deal with that himself. The other thing to consider is that I could use Displaced Armory to get Jim's Hat, and then I could play No Executions, but I don't have cards here. And I think I do want to get Neurotoxin. Neurotoxin plus ultimate target on operative means I can silence her pretty effectively. So I think we're gonna go and we're gonna do what I just said. No executions on the contract. And then I'm gonna shoot the contract. This is how I tend to play when I'm like being truly optimal is, and this tends to pop up in a one-shot setting, is that I plan out my entire round with the first turn, and then the rest of it falls through. So, contract. So that heals the operative, and the operative will keep healing every time we destroy a hero card, so Even if the fence isn't pulling a thief out, we will still have the healing effect, so damage on the operative isn't going to do too much. So something to consider is that I will be taking out these 2 thieves, which means that the operative's going to retaliate. Currently, she's retaliating on Fixer, who has a +1 by Nemesis. So I think I want to hit Fixer first. And then I'll hit the thieves so that I don't have to worry about Nemesis damage. To minimize this a little bit. And then Thief. And then I think the rest doesn't matter. Now my huge power. Destroy an environment card. If it was a target, Skyscraper deals 1 target 3 projectile damage. If not, Skyscraper deals each target 2 sonic damage and switches to our normal character card. If I do that, we lose Rooftop Combat. If we lose Rooftop Combat, the environment plays cards. Granted, I don't need the +1 as much right now, but I want to leave it out to stop another hostage from coming out. Huge Skyscraper at least helps us. Like, so, Paparazzi, there's only 1 in the environment deck. See, there's no more Paparazzis here. There is another hostage situation, plus there's a targeting... No, not that one. Traffic pileup, which stops card draws. So, at the very least, Skyscraper will be able to use powers until the environment shuffles, which means that we can keep the environment in check. If a hostage situation comes out, we can destroy it. Skyscraper deals each target damage, but we can destroy it and then play cards again. If traffic pileup comes out, we can destroy it and it's a target, so she deals damage. Or 1 damage. 1 target, 3 damage. Words are important. But I'm not going to use this power because I want to keep Rooftop Combat. And there's a Thrathian Monolith. Excellent. So, Thrathian Monolith, redirect damage dealt to a hero target to Skyscraper, reduce damage dealt to Skyscraper by 2. So that might help if I know a hired gun is coming out. Okay. Now here's a bit of a rub here. In order to take out the hired gun, which we certainly want to do because we don't have any extra damage from Tempest, in order for that to happen, I have to destroy a card, and the only cards... Actually, there are no cards out. Because the bounty was destroyed. Yeah, no executions was destroyed. Sky didn't play a card other than a one-shot. So there's no cards out there. Unless I play a card. But if my intention is just to take out the hired gun, I should just not play a card, because I want to keep meditation, obviously. It says, search your trash or your deck for a style and put it either into play or your hand. I would rather play this to put a card into play rather than into my hand. I'm not going to worry about playing meditation and trying to figure out in the future what style I want later. I'll worry about that when I'm going to get a style. Salvage Yard, I could play this, but there's only 1 equipment card in the trash, so that's pretty useless. I'm going to skip my card play. I'm going to have Fixer Rage on Hired Gun. It's an overkill, but... Oh, and this also hits Fixer. Oh well. But he's not destroying anything, which is good. And we draw Driving Mantis. I love Driving Mantis, but it's not as useful in Rooftop Combat. Alright, Tempest. Electrical Storm is tempting. Vicious Cyclone is an excellent card, especially when there's a +1, but I think there's not enough cards in hand for this, and I don't want to target one of these. Otherworldly Resilience is a perpetual -1 elemental subwave. As I said, if I play this, eventually I can reduce melee damage dealt to Tempest by 1, which will be effective. But I think if I put out Electrical Storm, we can keep the villain targets in check. Because this will happen at the start of Tempest's turn, And with the +1, this is 2 lightning damage across the board, so I'm not really worried about any other cards coming out as much. Certainly it's a bit of an issue with it hitting the chairman once the chairman's flipped, but we'll put out the electrical storm. And now I will hit the fence. And now the fence cannot get any more thieves. And we draw Cleansing Downpour, which... nice. Okay. Now let's see what happens. Oh my gosh, Prison Break! Oh my gosh! Okay, I knew that was Prison Break was coming, of course. And I guess I kind of cheated. Because, I mean, I don't know if putting the guy, what's his face, on the bottom of the deck was necessarily a good call, but I don't know. I always try to play under the assumption that Prison Break is coming out. So I don't really want to, you know, is that Christopher? That kind of looks like Christopher. I don't think it is, because he's Citizen Anvil, but it kind of looks like Christopher there. That's the fence. Oh, okay, fair enough. Oh, literally the fence. Okay, yeah, it is the fence. Okay, never mind, carry on. It is the fence. All right, so here, what do we want to do? We have the Crooked Cop. Crooked Cop isn't too bad. The Deputy and the Crooked Cop, other than the fact that they bring damage reduction, isn't terrible. And I'm not really worried about damage reduction as much. Currently, the Crooked Cop is making rooftop combat neutral versus everything except Crooked Cop himself. But let's think. We know that, so Operative shuffled the deck, so the fence, or the contract is somewhere now. We have the Broker, the Contract, the Muscle. Broker obviously sucks, but Informant is going to be easy to take out, other than the fact that they're going to play an extra card. Muscle brings out the Enforcers, but his damage is easy to prevent. The Contract, of course, if it comes out, Hired Gun stinks. But as long as we don't flip the Chairman, the Hired Gun isn't the... Hired Gun. Hired Gun is a terrible card when the Chairman is flipped, because that's a damage increase of 2. So I think we kind of want to stall until the second Prison Break comes out, and we have the Contract in the trash. In the meantime, though, because Operative retaliates every time something is destroyed, I think we want to mitigate that damage. So I think we want to try to lower her damage and put an ultimate target on her. And currently with Rooftop Combat, I can do that. So we'll displace Armory to get the Toxin Dart Thrower. I normally go for the hat first. I went for the hat first in my first playthrough. But I think that I'm going to do the Dart Thrower in this case, because I think it makes sense for overall survival. Because we're going to keep taking out targets over the course of the game, and the Operative's damage is going to really add up. And then, if I put Ultimate Target on her, then Chrono-Ranger doesn't care if there's 2 Crooked Cops out there. Because Chrono will just have enough +1s to not care. So I don't need to take out the Crooked Cop. So what do I want to do here? There's not really anything in my trash that I want. There's a Rest and Recover, but I can't get it back. Tectonic Chokeslam, but I'd rather do that when I'm a Thorathian, but I can't do that. I guess I'm always a Thorathian. I would rather do when I'm a Monolith and an Explosive Reveal. I guess I would rather be normal, because I can't use my huge power currently without destroying Rooftop Combat. I could Thorathian Monolith. I don't know. Well, Thorathian Monolith only does something if the hired gun comes out. At which point, we're getting 4 instances of 2 damage to Sky. If I play Thorathian Monolith and the hired gun doesn't come out, then it's a bit of a waste. I guess it's also reducing Operative's retaliation damage, and we do probably want to take the fence out so we can keep cards in play. If I go normal, I have to play Rest and Recover, which I was sort of keeping so I could utilize Thorathian Monolith. So maybe I'll just do Thorathian now, and then I'll Rest and Recover next turn to get Thorathian Monolith back. Proportionist. This version of Skyscraper loves Proportionist. Okay. I could also just destroy Thorathian Monolith with Fixer. Because I could take out the fence with Fixer. I mean, we do have the Electrical Storm that's going to do damage, but Crooked Cop is reducing it. I could meditate to the +1 damage, which is the one that does +1 damage, Grease Monkey Fist. And then I could one-shot the Crooked Cop with Fixer. And then Tempest would take out the fence, and then Operative would retaliate with a -1. But then she would hit either Chrono or Fixer. Or no, we have Thorathian Monolith, right? Well, no, I might be destroying Thorathian Monolith. Well, Oh no, she's gonna retaliate if I take out Crooked Cop and then the fence. I do want the fence gone though. And there's no underbosses in the trash, right? Yeah. Well, Fixer still doesn't have a tool. Let's give him a +1. Then I could, like, use him to take out anything I want. So we'll do Grease Monkey in play. And we'll one-shot the cop. And we'll do Psychic. And then... Oh, right! This is 2 + 1. Oh, I was assuming this was 4. But that was because of the guy... the contract! That guy! Okay, so it's gonna redirect to Sky anyway. If I keep out Thorathian Monolith, then Operative isn't gonna retaliate as hard when I take out the fence. And I don't have a tool. But I also played the thing that grabs styles. I guess it's not a big deal if we take damage. I'll just destroy this. It's gonna get destroyed anyway. Grease Gun. Okay, that's a good one. If I know that the contract is coming out, I'm definitely Grease Gunning. Do not hit Fixer. Oh, and now I could use base power on Deputy and stop a thingy, a Crooked Cop from coming out. Okay. So let's put out Otherworldly Resilience. We're gonna try to get Tempest to beat defense. And then we'll stop the Deputy from acting. Get another otherworldly resilience. Okay, when I draw the card I just played, it's a good sign. I did not know that was coming out, by the way. I don't remember this far. Prison Break. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay, that's actually really good. It's really good, but we didn't get the contract. So, okay. So both of the prison breaks are played. That's the good news. We have a thief. I think we'll ditch Grease Monkey Fist. Because I still want Tempest to get set up. Yeah, we'll ditch... Well... Well, I could stop defense from acting, so I guess I'm not as worried about getting multiple cards destroyed. So I'm gonna ditch Grease Monkey Fist. Okay. I'll do that. And now, discard a card so you don't take damage. Yeah, I think that's good. I will probably have Fixer play his Thingamabobber Salvage Yard, so equipments are better to discard then. Okay, prison breaks are done. We still have the hire gun, or the contract, and the broker to find. So now, let's put the ultimate target on operative. Yeah? 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 I think. Yeah, we'll do that. So now whenever an underboss or a thug is destroyed, we can reduce operative's damage. I could hit the thief now, and then operative retaliates and I can use a power, but it's a bit of a waste because I can't neurotoxin twice in a turn. I don't want to destroy all the underbosses because I don't want the hired gun to come out on flipped chairman. Hitting operative is silly when she's going to regain it back, and I'm trying to keep rooftop combat in play. Any underboss I do take out is permanent. So the muscle does do damage to all hero targets, so I think we want to take him out for sure. And I can't block that effect with Tempest either. So we'll do this damage here. And we'll neurotoxin operative. Bear in mind we've done 3 damage to her. If we exceed 10, then rooftop combat is gone. So now, so that Sky could actually use a power that does something. I guess I should rest and recover then. Proportionist is tempting, but I have things to do. So rest and recover. I get undetectable relinking, which is not a link. I'll take the monolith back. Base power, I do not have a link in my hand. I do not have a link in my trash, but I can still play the bottom card of my deck. Let's see what happens. Linking incursion. I knew that. Okay, so aggression modulator is definitely going in hand because there's no environment target in play. And rebounding debilitator, when that target would deal 3 or more damage, prevent that damage, then either destroy this card or put it on top of your deck. I think the only person that this would really help with is the operative. I guess the muscle, but the muscle we're gonna destroy. And enforcers, but we can always discard to prevent that damage. So this only makes sense on the operative. I guess it would make sense on chairman later as well. But I'll just put this on operative. And so the first time she reacts without a damage reduction, or if she reacts to fixer, we could prevent it. Plus, if I get links on her, Tiny's power builds up, so that's good. Alright, I'm not guaranteed that a hired gun is coming out next turn, but I guess we do have a monolith here. Actually, if I grease gun now, if the well, that might not take out the muscle, but that might not matter. If we don't get the contract next turn, grease gun doesn't do much. But then I could play Thorathian Monolith next turn. In that round, I would destroy Rooftop Combat, so that hired gun does less damage, I think. If I do that, though, the fence isn't going to get destroyed. Or no, I guess I could just stop his damage. And then the muscle, all of these effects do damage, so I don't care about that. The Deputy pulls Crooked Cops, which is going to lower damage, but that might be okay. Okay, so I'm going to Grease Gun then. And then I could do my next turn to get it back. So, now that I put Ultimate Target on Operative so that Chrono can use extra powers when she retaliates, I'm gonna stop her from dealing damage. Oh well. And now, Elemental Subwave. And starting next turn, not this turn because it has to wait till the start of my next turn, but starting next turn, melee damage dealt to Tempest will be reduced by 2, which is going to be very powerful. Let's stop the fence from getting thieves into play so we can keep our setup. Draw another Cleansing Downpour. I think we're doing well. This was the round I lost in my first playthrough. I mean, at this point, in my first playthrough, all the underbosses were out, and everyone but, I think, Chrono had died. But I think we're better set up now. So, no damage can be dealt, so I'm going to skip this. The Informant is out. So, Alright, and then skip this again. We have a Ranger's Mark. Okay. I mean, if I play a card, they play a card, but, like, I kind of want them to play cards because they can't do anything right now. Ideally, we get the contract, and then I could destroy them, and then I don't have to deal with the hired gun. But I'm not guaranteed I'm going to get that in the next 2 turns. And Sky will probably turn into a monolith, because then when she destroys Rooftop Combat, she deals each target 2 sonic damage. The hero damage redirects to her and becomes 0. The villain damage, well, she'll take out the Informant. She won't take out the fence. Yeah, I know the operative will pull the contract out, but I'm just thinking out loud. If I get the contract out, I don't have to worry about the... Like, if the contract comes out of turn, then I don't have to worry about the contract bringing out the hired gun. But I do have a plan for dealing with the hired gun involving Sky. So I guess it's not a super big deal, but I'm not concerned about card plays at all. So I kind of, Yeah, we've had shuffles. It's not on the bottom of the deck. It's one of these 6 cards in the deck. It's no one knows where. I don't know where because I didn't get this far in the first playthrough, and I didn't make the same plays in the playthrough either. I got Jim's hat and whatnot. So, so let's see. We have no executions. When that target will be destroyed, put it on the bottom of its deck instead. I don't think that there's a reason to do that. I mean, put a thug on the bottom. I guess it would stop them from shuffling for one more round, which is something. Because it means that... I mean, so when the chairman shuffles, we want the operative dead for sure. Because then the underbosses are in the deck, the thugs are in the deck, and so when an underboss comes out, they're not as effective. But the other card we have, Dead or Alive, regain 1 HP, draw a card, destroy this card. That's not as fun or exciting either. So I might want to utilize... probably want to do damage. If I do Terrible Tech Strike, the 2 damage on the Crooked Cop, it's down to 2. And then Sky with her huge power will take out the Crooked Cop and can then do full damage across the board. I want to take out cards. Well, I don't want to... I don't know that I want to take out Underbosses still. Oh boy. I don't want the Chairman to flip. I don't want Hired Gun to come out and deal 2 more damage, right? So unless I luck out and get... This is the one-shot, yes. Unless the contract comes out of turn and I can destroy him, I don't want the Chairman to flip. So I don't know that I want to take out the Crooked Cop. They can't deal damage right now, so I'm not worried about Operative's Retaliation. I'm not as worried about the Operative's Retaliation. She will deal damage if Tempest destroys things. Tempest will deal 1 damage with Rooftop Combat. Or without Rooftop Combat. Oh boy, now I'm min-maxing. It's very bad when I start min-maxing because it takes 15 minutes for me to figure out what to do. And the solution is probably dead obvious. I think I'm going to Terrible Tech Strike. So I want the Informant to survive until Sky's turn because I want to get the contract out of turn. I'm not worried about Enforcers. Those I don't care about. The Muscle, without the Hired Gun, or without the what's his face, contract. Without the contract, he's not going to do damage to Skyscraper, so I'm not worried about him. The Deputy pulls Crooked Cops, but if I do take out the Crooked Cop, Skyscraper and Tempest will take out the Deputy. The Fence is going to pull a Thug out, and without Rooftop Combat, if the Crooked Cop is out, Tempest can't hit him. I guess Fixer still has his turn to think about things, but... Do I want the Broker to play a card at the start of her turn? I don't think I do, because I could freeze her maybe, but... I guess what I want to do is freeze... But I can't freeze the Fence and also do other things. Ugh. Whatever. We'll Terrible Tech Strike. Alright. So, alright. Now there's nothing there. I'm going to do this on the Crooked Cop. Just... It's my instinct is all I can really say. I think that Chairman's going to flip. I think is what I'm resigning myself to. Unless I leave both the Muscle and the Broker out. The Broker's a lady? Yeah. She looks like a woman to me. I understand that it could be confusing because there's several long-haired males in this deck, but she looks female to me. So... I mean, we can leave the Muscle out, that's fine. If I leave the Broker out... I guess once the Crooked Cop is gone, Tempest can freeze the Broker so we don't get an Informant. Because we'll definitely have the Hired Gun at that point, so I don't want to have to search for the contract. Or I'll definitely have the contract at that point, so I don't want to have to search for the contract. So Yeah, we'll do that, I guess. So then where do I want to do this 1 damage? Because Deputy's gone regardless. I don't want to hit the muscle because he'll be taken out. I don't want to hit the broker. I could do it on the operative, except... Oh no, the fence will be destroyed by that point, so damage here will be permanent. So we'll hit the operative. Her and the deputy are husband and wife IRL. You know, I can actually sort of see that. Just based on the card art. I do know that these underbosses are depictions of backers of the Rook City. I don't know if it was a Kickstarter or a pre-order, but I do know that they were depictions of like those big backers. I actually was looking at the RPG Kickstarter, and before I realized that there was a limit of 60, I actually was going to back at the highest tier so that my name could be put somewhere in the pages of RPG Comics, but unfortunately it's capped at 60 and all those people claimed those spots because I wasn't fast enough, so I can't do that. I haven't decided what I'm going to do at that point. I don't think I'm going to actually play the RPG because I'm not really like a tabletop RPG guy, and I don't have friends that would actually play with me like that, so I don't know if I would invest at the second highest tier when I don't need all the physical stuff. I might just back for the PDF. You took one after someone dropped it. Oh, I could actually just keep my eye on it and decide to take it after someone drops it. That's actually a thought. Okay, well, all right, so let's dart thrower operative then, because she's going to react after Tempest destroys things. I'm not allowed to play anything until I play Aeon's End. Fair enough. All right, so we're monolithing, and we did not get the contract. Informant is definitely going down. I'm definitely destroying rooftop combat manually because I think the damage spread is better than keeping the +1. So hit the crooked cop first. And then, yeah, they can't retaliate anyway. Hit the fence? Not that the order matters. All of these redirect to Skyscraper, who takes 0, and the underboss, or the operative can't react, so all of this is done. Did operative heal? Why did operative heal? What did I forget? Oh, did I destroy a link or something? Or a con... I don't know. Something happened. Operative healed twice. The fence, whenever a hero card is destroyed... What got destroyed then? Because I thought I hit her with Chrono. Okay, I don't know. I thought I hit her on Chrono's turn, but... Oh, perfect human specimens. That's what it was. Okay, right, okay. I was only thinking of the... I can't remember these cards. I always remember the thug, but not the underboss. The fence. Okay. So, do I want to play something? I don't think I need to use his power. I guess I could hit the operative for a bajillion damage with Bloody Knuckles. And we do want to like kind of take her out fast. And we don't have any other means of +1s. Did the fence lose an eye between Prison Break and his card art? I think no, that's not a broken eye. That's an eyepiece. Like that's something like a sort of a spectacle sort of thing. Like it's a bit weird, I guess, but it looks like it's like a microscope thing. He just has it in his eye and he's scrunching it down to keep it in while he examines this diamond or something. That's kind of what it looks like. Because certainly he doesn't have a damaged eye there. But here it sort of looks like an eyepiece or a microscope that's just in his eye or something. That's my guess. A jeweler's loop, but all teched up and fancy. Alright, I'm gonna Bloody Knuckles this operative. 6 damage. And we draw Bloody Knuckles! Alright, I think I know what I'm doing for the next 2 rounds. Order sort of matters. Skyscraper's highest, and then Fixer, and then Tempest. Well, no, because only the deputy is going to be taken out, so it doesn't actually 100% matter. Yeah, so... But then... Then the operative retaliates. Oh, but doesn't do damage, so Chrono doesn't react, but it's fine, because I wasn't planning on it. Reduce melee. Okay. I'm going to put out Cleansing Downpour, I think, because I don't need Vicious Cyclone just yet. I will, however, stop the broker from pulling someone out. Okay, so I'm as set up as I can be for the contract. Plummeting Monorail. Plummeting Monorail is actually like a strictly positive card because it's... Well, I guess not, because it... Chairman and Operative are the 2 targets with the highest HP, so... Oh boy, the card play is Contract. That's perfect. Oh no, never mind. That's the broker's card play. Well, whatever. Okay, I can use a power. Interesting. I can't actually take out the contract. It would be exciting if I could, but I can't. My broker isn't going to pull anything out. She already hit her card play. Both of the enforcers are in the... I'm going to hit the operative. Because we're going to rush the operative. So Skyscraper is being dealt... This is 3 damage after the reduction and increase. So... Oh boy, I crashed modulator on the Plummeting Monorail. Oh my gosh. This is going to be great. I think I'm going to addition Emergency Evac because this is only good for destroying environment cards and we have means of doing that. This is also good for HP recovery on the heroes, but we also have Tempest with Cleansing Downpour. I probably want to keep the other one because it's my only other normal card. I have 2 tinies. Undetectable Relinking is fun, but I don't have a lot of links to work with, so I'm going to ditch Undetectable Relinking. Okay, now we take out all of the targets on the board. Chairman flips, take out Operative, and then once the deck shuffles, we're not worried about much of anything. Okay. I also have a sudden contract. Oh boy. Do I want to by any means Operative? We do have to take out things, like, for sure. And we don't have the +1 to help. But, well, Tempest is going to take out the broker, the muscle, and the enforcers all by himself. So I have to do 3, 3, and 7 to the other guys. Catch a Ride. Can do... I don't think there's any +1s, right? Yeah, so this can do 2 and 2 to someone. And then the tiny power, deal 1 target X irreducible toxic damage where X is the number of links on that target +1. So if I hit like the contract with that, that's 2-2-1. He'll be down to 2. So I just need to do 2 damage to him, which Terrible Tech Strike can do. Fixer does have Bloody Knuckles though, so I could use that to do 5 damage to the contract. I was hoping to do a bunch of damage to the operative, but we do have some time before the shuffle happens. And I could benefit from the monorail just doing 5 damage to the operative. So with Bloody Knuckles, Fixer will do 5. Terrible Tech Strike will do 2, so that will be down. Do that before Tempest's turn so that when he destroys underbosses, Operative doesn't do incredible damage. The hired gun has to go. I guess we could use Catch a Ride for that. Alternatively, I could keep Skyscraper normal because we can play Aggression Modulator with this power. We could play Proportionist with her card play. She plays Aggression Modulator on her turn. She plays the bottom card of her deck. Some random effect happens, and then we'll figure out what to do from there. And I guess if worse comes to worse, Tempest can do 1 damage to the hired gun. Or wait. This presupposes that I'm doing damage in an effective order. Well, I think it's Terrible Tech Strike, at the very least. I guess if I do the 2 damage to the contract, Fixer takes out the contract for sure. If I do 1 damage to the hired gun, and then I use one of these, Operative will retaliate for full damage, though. But actually, after a while, this is only 2 damage. Tempest has a -2 to melee, so I don't really worry about her damage so much. I could just use, like, Quick Shot on the higher gun. At which point, Electrical Storm takes out the higher gun, and then Operative retaliates, and I can actually use a power! Yeah! We're gonna do this! This sounds good. I like this plan. I'm excited to be a part of it. Okay. Yeah, so now do this on the higher gun. So now, like, almost everyone is dead on Tempest's turn. Except for one of the enforcers, but I'm not worried about that. We'll play Proportionist. Now I have that. I'm gonna play Aggression Modulator on the Plummeting Monorail. Ooh, Cortex Hyperstimulator. Oh boy. Oh boy. So what does this say? The chairman is immune to damage from environment cards. Increased damage dealt by thugs by X. The first time the chairman is dealt damage each turn, the chairman deals a source of the damage X melee damage. Oh my gosh, we're gonna have Cortex Hyperstimulator have the chairman hit himself. Oh my gosh. I mean, we have to, like, actually have the damage go through, but if the chairman hits himself with that, that's gonna be so good. Oh my goodness. Alright, Bloody Knuckles. I guess the Operative retaliating on Fixer with Bloody Knuckles still in play. Womp womp. Oh hey, Rebounding Debilitator went up. This is why I played this card, because I anticipated this happening 3 rounds in the future. Okay, we're gonna destroy Bloody Knuckles. And next round, we're, like, gonna beat the snot out of the Operative. Alright, order doesn't matter because contract is gone. And yeah, the rest of it doesn't actually do anything, I think. Chrono may use a power! Yeah, we're gonna beat the snot out of Operative here. Enforcers is a non-issue here. A side note, you know, someone reported the game not ending when they took out the chairman before the Operative. I don't know if that... I know I've definitely won the game when I took out the chairman first and then the operative. I don't know if it's an issue in one-shots, though. It could be an issue that in a one-shot, the game doesn't recognize it's over and a one-shot doesn't end. Okay. I could actually stop the enforcers from doing their damage and save Skyscraper from discarding a card. Okay. I think we're going to Vicious Cyclone Chairman. Because Tempest is totally okay. No, if Chairman is taken out first, the game doesn't end until the operative is out. But when the operative is taken out after the Chairman, the game should end. For sure. I want to put this on the Chairman. If the Chairman reacts, Tempest has a -2 to melee. I'm going to stop the enforcers from doing things. Lightning Slash. All right. So really, we should be in, like, excellent shape. I guess it comes down to what the environment plays. Traffic pileup. Players cannot draw cards. I think I'm okay with this. We can have Skyscraper blow it up. Chrono can't draw cards, whatever. Okay. Alright. So I don't want to play just doing my job because I can't draw cards. I want a +1 on Chairman. So that Cortex Hyperstimulator Chairman hits himself. That would be amazing. Yeah, so I guess we have emergency evac. We do have an aggression modulator, though. I don't want to destroy that. I know it's not helping against the Chairman, though. The Chairman is always immune to environment damage, even on this side. But it certainly will mitigate the damage to hero targets, which this is melee, so Tempest is all like, deal me melee damage, me, melee, please, me. But no, we'll make her huge. We do have Colossal Left Hook. Excuse me. We have a Micro Assembler, and Tempest wants to get his Gene-Bound Shackles because of Vicious Cyclone. So I think we're going to put that on Tempest. So, yeah, we'll Colossal Left Hook, we'll discard Catch a Ride, we'll play Micro Assembler, and then Huge Sky will destroy Traffic Pileup and deal 3 damage to Operative. And I'm not in a massive rush to take out the Operative because we do have at least one more round before the Chairman flips, and then the Operative has to be taken out by that point. So I'm going to put By Any Means on Chairman. But I will damage the Operative. I want to take out the Operative first still. And do I want to reduce? I don't need to reduce the Operative's damage because the Operative is going to... I guess it doesn't matter because I want to hit the Operative. Yeah, we'll hit the Operative for sure. Sky, that's not something you should be throwing. Alright. Colossal Left Hook. We're huge. Because I've increased in size, I deal each non-hero target 1 melee, so... Oh no, the Chairman reacted. Oh no, the Operative reacted. And then I'll hit the Operative. Discard Catch a Ride. Play Micro Assembler on Tempest. Because now I don't have a thing that I want to stop end of turns on. And we're doing pretty good on health in this game, in this match. Let's destroy Traffic Pileup so I can draw cards again. And deal damage to the Operative. This is not a terrible one-shot. I don't know what everyone's talking about. So, truthfully, this one-shot is actually incredibly variable because the operative shuffles the villain deck repeatedly, which means that the cards the chairman plays are incredibly hard to predict unless you play the same cards in the same order. Cards that affect the RNG are the ones that change what happens on the chairman's play. So cards that search the villain deck, such as the one that got me Neurotoxin Dart Thrower, or the one that got me Greased Monkey Fist, or the one that Tempest is going to use that will give me the Gene-Bound Shackles, those cards are going to change what happens on the chairman's turn. So the way that I played this game here, well, certainly the RNG went into my favor, but it could have very well been that this last card in the deck was Prison Break. It could have been that it was the very bottom of chairman's deck, or rather that every time the operative shuffled the deck, Prison Break was never on top. So it could have very well been that I'm sitting at this moment going, oh my gosh, Prison Break is coming out. I wish I had Grease Gun. Why don't I have Salvagers? I actually do, but whatever. Okay, I think, yeah, Bloody Knuckles and just hit the operative. Yeah, we haven't gotten a chance to set up Mr. Fixer because we've yet to find a tool in this game. Which, by the way, other people have found tools. So, the reason I haven't found a tool is because I shuffled the Fixer's deck and changed the order of the cards. We've never found the ones that search for equipment cards. Alright. Chairman reacts. Oh, darn. This is reduced by 2. Yeah. I guess because Elemental Subwave Inducer, I play that after Electrical Storm, so I'm not benefiting from the -1 at that point. But I'm not going to do this just yet. I'm going to wait on that. I know that John definitely got dual crowbars in his game, because he talked about how he was alternating between chairman and operative for that. Do I want to do Aquatic Correspondence so I have lots of cards, or do I want to Lightning Slash the operative and take her out faster? I think I want to just Aquatic Correspondence. I could Lightning Slash the next turn. Or no, I'm gonna do Gene-Bound Shackles on the next turn. Well, I'm gonna Aquatic Correspondence. And I get Gene-Bound Shackles. It would have been bad if I actually drew both, because then Micro Assembler wouldn't get me the Gene-Bound Shackles. Alright, discard a card. And now my Cleansing Downpour is super safe. I've yet to play it in this match. But now Gene-Bound Shackles is in play, and with By Any Means on Chairman, each instance of Electrical Storm and what the other one was, Vicious Cyclone, will do 4 damage to the chairman. So Tempest is going to do 16 damage on his turn. Before his, on the start of Tempest's turn, he's going to do 14 damage to the chairman. Cramped Quarters Combat. Change the type of all damage to melee. Increase all damage by 1. Oh my gosh. Let's see what happens here. This is the operative. So, you know what I should do? I should have Chrono use a power before the operative. Well, no, actually, I don't want to reduce the chairman's damage because I want him to hit himself harder. So I'll just, whatever. Because now the chairman actually hits himself for max effect. Oh no, the chairman was dealt damage, he reacts. Oh, chairman, stop hitting yourself. Alright, what do I want to do? Ranger's Mark, I don't really need either of these things. But I mean, like, so if I do just doing my job, I mean, so what? So now Tempest is gonna do 20 damage on his turn. Is there gonna be a next round? I don't think there is at this rate. I think I need to take out the operative and then Tempest wins the game. Or rather, I don't even need to, I guess, Tempest just needs to do 2 damage to the operative via cramped quarters combat. So, yeah, let's just presuppose there isn't a next turn, and I'll just play Ranger's Mark to get Dead or Alive for no real good reason. So this is 3, and then my power does 3. So I have to somehow deal like 1 damage to the operative. To which I could Linky Incursion. Or I could take out the plummeting monorail. You feel the chairman hitting himself like that was not at all intentional. I think that probably is true. The phrasing on this says, the first time the chairman is dealt damage each turn, the chairman deals the source of that damage X melee damage. Whereas misinformation says the first time misinformation is dealt damage by a hero target each turn, she deals the source of that damage 2 psychic damage or whatever. So I think when they designed misinformation, they realized that there's a bit of a loophole here, and the chairman could hit himself a second time. Certainly, I think... I mean, it happens when you design a game, you learn from your mistakes, and when you make an expansion, you avoid those mistakes. Like, Tempest's Reclaim from the Deep says, each player may take a card from their trash and put it on top of their hero deck, and you may draw a card. Most people use this to put a Reclaim on top of your deck that Tempest then draws, so that Tempest perpetually plays Reclaim from the Deep. Well, certainly that is very overpowered because a player could keep putting their strongest card on top of their deck and cycling that strongest card. Like, imagine Legacy playing Takedown every turn. It's very broken, which is why future iterations of this card, such as Emergency... Nope, not that one. Rest and Recover says, draw 1 card and move 1 card other than Rest and Recover from your trash to your hand. This isn't exactly the same because it's only for Skyscraper's benefit, but like... Argent Adept has Vernal Sonata that says each player may move a card other than Vernal Sonata from their trash on top of their deck, so that Argent Adept cannot chain Vernal Sonatas. So certainly, like, you know, this was the first instance of whenever this card is dealt damage, react. So future cards sort of feature the clause by a certain kind of target. Another thing I know that changed in future iterations, and now I just slipped my mind. What was it? Oh, so Chrono-Ranger's Hunter and Hunted says increased damage dealt to and by Chrono-Ranger by the number of bounty cards in play. Whether intentional or not, this actually means that when Chrono-Ranger hits himself, he hits himself doubly harder. Because if he has 2 bounties in play, increased damage dealt to Chrono by 2, increased damage dealt by Chrono by 2. So if he hits himself for 1 damage, that gets increased by 2 because the damage dealt is increased by 2. Because it's hitting himself, it's getting increased by 2, so it's 5 damage. Fixer also has this with Bloody Knuckles. But other iterations of this card, such as I think in Lifeline's deck, says increased damage dealt by non-hero targets, or increased damage dealt to and by Lifeline, to and by non-hero targets by 2, or I think the same is true for Setback. So isn't the ruling on Vernal Sonata you cannot pick this specific Vernal Sonata? Yes, and that's not the issue. The issue isn't that I can reclaim this specific reclaim. The issue is if I have 2 reclaims, I play the first reclaim, it's now in my trash. I play my second reclaim, I can take the first reclaim and put it on top of my deck. Then the second reclaim goes in my trash, but I draw the first reclaim. Then on my next turn, I play the reclaim that's in my hand. I move the reclaim from my trash into my hand. So that's the issue. You need 2 reclaims to do that for sure. So it's not as 100% effective. Anyway, let's actually finish this game, shall we? I'm getting distracted talking about rules, but, you know, people want to see me mint this one-shot. Technically, it's not mint because I played it twice before, but this is the first time on the public branch, which means it will be a mint. You can tell because it says here, warning, if you use undo, you'll be unable to earn a mint cover for this one-shot. Anyway, so what do I want to do here with the operative? If Fixer uses his base power with no pluses on the operative after I do this, then Tempest will take out the operative with Electrical Storm. So I'm going to do this. And then, I guess I'm going to use a power on Chairman. I guess I'll just reduce damage dealt by the Chairman. It'd be nice if I could do this twice. That's not going to happen. Because then I could have Fixer use Driving Mantis and redirect Chairman's damage to himself, but that's not happening. That's incredibly boring. You turn Tempest into, yeah, he is just a card recycling machine that also has a turn phase. Well, I mean, if you can stop the villain from playing cards every turn, then it's the best way to play Tempest, so... I think the consistent way... Well, I guess it doesn't really matter at this point. I could just blow up the monorail. For that, I have to stay huge. So I'm going to skip my card play. And I'm going to destroy Plummeting Monorail. You've been great, my friend. But now I'm going to use you directly for damage. Oh boy, Neutralizing Resonator. That could have been fun. So we're hitting operative for surezies. I'm gonna salvage yard just to get all of my equipments back in my hands, and then I'm gonna hit the operative. I have to destroy a card now. Well, you know, this aggressive modulator is not doing anything. And oh my gosh, it's a tool! It's a tool! Alright, hit operative first. Order is super important. I guess it's not actually 100% important. But as long as Chairman is the non-hero target with the highest HP, Tempest does +2 damage to him. And now, melee damage, and then discard 3 cards for the win. This is how you mint the one-shot, guys. Guys, are you having trouble minting this one-shot? Because this is how you should do it. See? Mint. Freshy mint. Of course, that's me being a bit pompous and arrogant for surezies, but, I mean, so... Again, I played this twice on the beta build, so this isn't a truthful mint. And so I knew that after Paparazzi and Rooftop Combat, we were going to get the Rooftop Combat. What did I say? After Paparazzi and Hostage, we would get the Rooftop Combat. I didn't actually take advantage of the fact. I knew it was happening, but I still discarded the 2 cards because, I mean, you don't know that going in the first time you play. Then I did know that the third card play was going to be Prison Break. So, I mean, I guess that means I kind of was a little unfair with putting a contract on the bottom of the deck, but it still could be, like, argued that it makes sense to do that. So if a Prison Break does come out of, you know, a good time, then you wouldn't be screwed. So, I mean, the chances of that were small, but, I mean, at least I tried to give a somewhat reasonable argument as to why what I did with Chrono-Ranger made a little bit of sense. But after that, I did not know how the rest of the game was going to go, I swear. Because, as I said, this game has a lot of randomness built into it by virtue of the fact that whenever you search your deck for a card, you're going to change where your RNG seed is, and that's going to influence how the operative shuffles the Chairman's deck, which means the Chairman's subsequent card plays are going to be radically different. So I say to anyone who says that these one-shots are terrible and aren't fun to play because John decides these are terrible seeds or whatnot, I will reiterate that the only condition in this one-shot that went into it was that the top card on Chairman's deck was Rook City is Mine, and the top 2 cards of Megalopolis were Paparazzi and Hostage Situation. Those were the only conditions. Everything that happens afterwards, I mean, John minted it, so there's a theoretical path to victory. Whether that means it's an easy or hard one-shot remains to be discovered, but since I minted this without much more information than knowing where the prison break was, or the first prison break was, I don't really know whether it's that hard of a one-shot. I do see a lot of complaints about the one-shots. I think people need to sort of ignore the mint factor of it and just accept that this is a weekly game that the community plays and avoid the stress of trying to keep a mint streak. Because mints are supposed to be hard to get, and if you keep like trying to get mints and then getting stressed because you can't get a mint, you're not enjoying the game. And if you're not enjoying the game, you have to take a step back and reevaluate what you're doing. You should really appreciate that this is a community sort of thing. You shouldn't view this as a competitive thing. You should view this as a we're all playing the same game. Let's discuss how our games went and vent our frustrations to each other, or pat each other on the back for coming up with a strategy that wins. So it kind of makes me a little sad when I see people say, I'm going to quit this game because the one-shots are trash, or John designs only terrible one-shots, so screw him. I think that's not the message that should be taken away. I think people are just overreacting to their losses and interpreting a lack of mint as a sign that they suck at the game, when truly the mint message is more that it's a rare feat to accomplish because mint covers are hard to obtain without you know, in the wild, it's hard to obtain a mint cover for a particular comic. All that said, I'm preaching to no one in particular. I'm just trying to say, don't stress out, people. This is a game, and if you're not having fun, then why are you playing this game? All right. If you like this stream, be sure to like this and share it and tweet it and talk about this with your friends and family and community. I like having a chat. We had a pretty active chat here today. I've been very happy with it. I hope that you come back and watch next week. We certainly do this sort of trend where I do a one-deck dungeon game followed by a Sentinels of the Multiverse game. Normally, the Sentinels of the Multiverse game is a viewer's choice. This week is certainly the exception because it's Dolphin's choice. But future iterations will be viewer's choice. You get to choose the game that I play, and I'll play it for you. Hopefully winning. Probably not. Sometimes I don't. Ultimate Iron Legacy in Rook City. Come on. That was the first viewer's choice. But do be sure to come back and rewatch future streams come back and watch for the first time future streams if you like this content. If you like Sentinels of the Multiverse and or One Deck Dungeon, Handelabra is the company to follow because they are a wonderful indie company that helps design digital iterations of various games. Their current project is Aeon's End. It is available on BackerKit for pre-order, and pre-ordering on there can let you work towards a stretch goal of there being crossovers between Sentinels of the Multiverse and One Deck Dungeon with Aeon's End. I would love for those crossovers to exist, so please work towards that goal if you can. If you don't have the money, that is totally fine. You know, not everyone has money. I was in that financial situation myself several years ago. I understand how it goes. Be sure to check out the other streams on this channel. We have Handelabra Live every Tuesday with John every week and Jeremy every other week. We have Dolphin's Dive every Friday with yours truly, doing the strategically minded stream. We have Tales from the Archive every Sunday with another Letdown who does a storytelling version of Sentinels of the Multiverse. And On Deck is every Monday with Pirate Savvy and Dover, which is a pirate brother duo, I guess that works. Brother-sister duo, which plays through Sentinels of the Multiverse and is learning the game as they go and generally just having a fun time. And probably of all the streamers is the most engaged with the chat, and I really find their stream the most adorable, honestly. Sentinels of the Multiverse and One Deck Dungeon and Bottom of the Ninth are available through Steam and iOS and Android devices. Be sure to check them out. You can also get them physically if you so desire. Physical games, as we've talked about, are fun, if not challenging, because you have to track all the things manually, but that does sort of add to the funness factor if you're into that sort of thing. Also, it lends itself very well to playing with friends, which you should do because friends are great. I would love to have one someday. I'm kidding, of course. Yep. So that wraps up another exciting installment of Dolphin's Dive. I'll see you all next week. Let's listen to Chairman music, shall we? Where's Chairman? There's Chairman. All right. Come on, Chairman. Is it loading? It's loading. All right. Good night, everyone.